ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party, unlicensed 1/6 scale outfit set unboxing and review video. Now today we are taking a look at another product from Daftoys. This is the Bruce Wayne set from Justice League. Now it's worth noting that this is an unofficial product. I got mine from Comic Sanctorum. I have popped the link in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is not a promotional video, this is a review on an outfit set I picked up for my own personal collection. It's worth noting that the box art is actually really impressive. We've got an image of Ben Affleck as Batman on the front of the box. That is the cowl from Justice League, and then very simply the Bat logo on the back of the box. We're not really here to dissect this box as slim as it is. We're more here to take a look at the clothing pieces inside. I cannot tell you how much fun I have with these custom videos, because at the start of it, we literally have nothing, it's just an outfit. But by the end of it, we have a fully completed 1/6 scale figure that we built ourselves. There's nothing better than that. Now we will be dissecting this outfit in just a second, but it's worth noting there are multiple layers as well as shoes. But you do have to BYO body. The body that I often use for these customs is the World Box necklace body. It does come with multiple different neck pegs at different heights, so it should accommodate your head sculpts, but it's a little bit slim in this instance for Bruce Wayne. Luckily for me, I actually have this. This is the Hot Toys Strike Suit cap body, and it's also necklace. It's a little bit beefier both up at the shoulders and in the thighs, so I think this is going to work very nicely for Bruce Wayne. But if the only body you can get your hands on is the World Box one, that is going to work perfectly fine. What we are going to do now though is get all of the parts and pieces that come included with the outfit set laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything it comes with. Here we have all the items of clothing that come included in the set. Now we may as well start off with the biggest piece first, and don't worry, you will see all of this fully assembled in the very next clip. Now the outer jacket is quite long. It also does have a texture on the surface, kind of like a woolen effect shrunk down to 1/6 scale. You've got 3 buttons on either side and it is fully lined. Plus you do have real working pockets on the outside. You also get the rest of his business suit, as you would expect. A regular black suit jacket with press studs rather than real 1/6 scale buttons, which, trust me, is definitely a good thing. You do get a black necktie which is pre-tied. You will slide this over the collar, fold it down, then pop the head sculpt on and tighten this into place. You do get a vest which also has press studs, and it is worth noting that the inside of the vest and the suit jacket are both lined with the same pattern, so it all matches very nicely. And then of course lastly, a white business shirt. You do get a pair of black pants, which are pretty straightforward. They do have real working pockets, and then a 1/6 scale pleathery belt with a real metal buckle. You do also get a pair of black business shoes, which are relatively simple. There is some texture on the underside, but by far the coolest part of this set for me is that they included a teeny tiny tie clip that has BW on it and also a pin to hold the collar together. We do see him wearing both of these things in Justice League, so this is super accurate. Now, depending on which Bruce Wayne head sculpt you decide to go with, this suit, or this figure, will look slightly different. I do have both the first-rate Bruce Wayne head sculpt on the left and the Hot Toys one from Justice League Batman on the right. I will be trying both of these out with this set just to see which one I prefer, but whichever way you go, either of these head sculpts will work rather nicely. What we are going to do now though is get the fully completed Bruce Wayne out here and take a closer look. Here we have him standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And I tell you what, this was not the easiest thing in the world to assemble. It is, being a custom piece, going to be subject to some trial and error. I started off with the much larger Hot Toys strike suit cap body that I showed you a second ago. It simply wouldn't fit. The suit was never designed for a body that big. I don't know what I was thinking, so I ended up going with my plan B, the World Box body, and it worked perfectly. So I would just straight up ignore what I said earlier and just go for the World Box one. Save yourself the headache. Now, when assembling this, there are two things which could potentially cause you some grief. The first of which is the collar on the shirt and the pin that holds it together. I would suggest taking your time, getting a safety pin, and puncturing a small hole first to get the placement right, and then assembling everything else. I do also have him wearing his tie bar, which was the second thing that caused me a little bit of frustration. I would suggest spreading the prongs out a little bit before trying to attach it to the tie and shirt. Otherwise, you're going to be futzing around, fiddling around with it forever. Other than that, it came together very nicely. Now, technically, this outfit is based off the scene between Bruce and Barry Allen in the Flash cave, I guess, where he threw the Batarang at the Flash. So I would have loved to have seen a Batarang included with this set if you don't have the Justice League Batman or the Justice League Flash. But nevertheless, the outfit set itself comes together quite well. What we are going to do now, though, is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in, and take a closer look at the details. Here we have him up close and personal. Now in just a second we will switch out the Hot Toys sculpt for the first rate version, because I'm curious to see what that looks like and if it will complement the rest of the outfit. Now initially I was worried, because I did have to go for that smaller framed body, that the Justice League Batman sculpt was going to be far too big. But I'm pleased to report that everything works. Everything fits in proportion to this head sculpt. And that's because there are multiple layers here. It bulks him up significantly. If you do start to remove the layers though, then you're going to run into a little bit of trouble, because he's going to look far too skinny. But as it stands, with all of the layers on, this guy works. Now, one thing that is bugging me just a little is that the outer jacket is shedding. There are a ton of little black fuzzles that keep coming off the jacket. I'm hoping that that's just excess and it gets to a point where that stops happening, but for now, it's a little bit frustrating looking at the bottom of the light box and there being a ton of little black fuzzles. Now, you can do up the inner jacket if you would like to. There are two press studs. It's super straightforward to close that up, but it's technically a little bit more accurate to leave it open. Now, the thing that I was moaning about in the previous clip being this collar pin, it does look great, don't get me wrong, but it is a bit of a challenge to get that installed. As I said, try using a safety pin and puncturing the hole first, without the head sculpt on, mind you, because you don't want to accidentally push the pin through and scratch up the neck of your sculpt. Now, coming down to the pants, the only other complaint I have is that they do sit a little bit low. Towards the back, that is perfectly fine, but at the front they look a little bit baggy. And if we do know one thing about Bruce Wayne, it's that he wears some pretty classy suits, so I don't think that would be happening. You can pull them up ever so slightly and eliminate that a little bit, but when you let it go, it tends to crinkle back down. Other than that, the shoes are very basic and they work just fine. But for those of you wondering what the other Bruce Wayne head sculpt looks like, this one I don't think works as well, because it is a little bit smaller in scale and the outfit set bulks him up so significantly, it looks far too small. It makes him look a little bit pinheaded. So for me, I will be going with the Hot Toys head sculpt, even though I thought initially that this one was going to be the one I would use in the display. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have the tactical suit Batman from Hot Toys on the right and the Daftoys Bruce Wayne on the left. Now as you can see, due to the fact that I had to go with the World Box body, Bruce is significantly shorter than Batman. Now I totally understand that's not going to work for everyone, but for me, it kind of makes sense that out of the Batsuit without those big, chonky, thick-soled boots on, he's going to be a little bit shorter. He's also going to be way less buff because Tactical Suit especially has a ton of armor, which bulks him up significantly. Nevertheless, I'm sure that you'll be able to find a body that's roughly the same height as Tactical Suit Batman, but if you wanted to, you could always go with the World Box one and use some ankle extenders to give him a little bit more height. Just going over articulation. I was actually tempted not to do this because y'all will probably choose your own body that will move differently to the one I decided to go with, but nevertheless, this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. Now, starting off with the head sculpt, the Hot Toys Bruce Wayne sculpt is on a fixed neck, looking forward and back, swivel and then pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there, they will of course go forward and back, butterfly joint at the shoulder, swivel at the bicep, a double bend at the elbow, and of course a regular 1/6 scale wrist peg. There are two joints in the torso, one at the midsection, then another at the waist. He does crunch forward a little, but because he is wearing so many layers, it's slightly more restricted. He does go back, swivel, and then pivot side to side. The legs will go forward to there, they will go out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, a double bend at the knee that does go past 90, and of course a double ball peg down here for the ankle. Just wrapping up on the Daftoys Bruce Wayne outfit set from Justice League. Now going into this, I was pretty excited. Y'all know I love a good custom outfit, and when it comes together and looks as good as this guy does, it makes me so incredibly happy. My Justice League shelf has been missing a Bruce Wayne, and finally I now have one that's worthy of the collection. Now it's not going to be easy, and you may struggle with the choice of head sculpt, the choice of body, and putting everything together properly, but trust me, once you get it done, it is going to be worth it, because this outfit is super high quality. It fits the body really well if you go with the same World Box one that I decided to go with, and it gives you an opportunity to use the Bruce Wayne head sculpt that came with your Justice League Batman, if you are like me and prefer to have your heroes wearing their masks. Now, I got this outfit set from Comic Sanctorum, but do bear in mind it's third party and it's unlicensed. That means it's an unofficial product. I have popped the link in the description below for your reference purposes only. While you are down there, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.